Director James Wan and director James Cameron are the creators of two aquatic franchises. The author of the successful horror films Saw, Astral and The Conjuring made a film about the underwater kingdom of Atlantis as part of the DC superhero cinematic universe in 2018. Today we will tell you how Cameron's underwater world is different and why it is better. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, put likes and write in the comments your favorite film with the water world. Galaxy movie. The shooting of Aquaman took 100 days, and according to the director it was the most difficult filming in his life. Just for context, he shot Saw in 18 days, and Astral in 20 days. All the actors complained that they had to spend half the film wet. The same Jason Momoa said that it was hard for him to jump in wet jeans. If you're wondering how much water was involved in the filming of Aquaman, then the answer will surprise you. According to the director, he expressed his wish that there was as little water as possible. He had little experience with this element before, and it was terrible for him. The process they used to shoot underwater is called dry for wet. The same technology was used by Guillermo del Toro in The Shape of Water for the film's opening scene. Dry for wet is literal. They filmed the actors dry to show them in the water. The film is shot on a blue screen. The actors are suspended from the ceiling on cables and constantly dangling in the air, while the director shoots them in the meantime. Later they start using our cinematic tricks. In the end it looks like they are swimming. By comparison, when it came to realizing these watery scenes, there was none of the usual Hollywood dry-on-wet performance capture techniques, actors dangling from wires, feigning weightlessness, making vague floating motions in the air. According to members of Cameron's film crew, the director insisted on wet for wet. In order to show the underwater world of Pandora, such a technology was created. James Wan believes that shooting a superhero film underwater is impossible under any circumstances. After all, people underwater move so slowly, and superheroes cannot be so slow. They move fast like dolphins, so he needed to start thinking like we all live in water. Of course, there was no water. How can you make an Aquaman movie without water at all? For the submarine scenes, the entire set had to be flooded and huge pools of water created. For example, every time the characters get out of the water, special effects alone are indispensable. It was necessary to literally drag the actors into the water and film them emerging from the water. The irony is that when you're in the water, you don't look wet. You only look like this when you get out of the water. Underwater, you, oddly enough, look dry. So the actors did a lot of research even before the filming began. They dipped both the stuntmen and the costumes in water to see how they would look in the water, how they would move, how this or that material would look if it came into contact with moisture. They recorded and photographed everything in order to recreate it later on a computer. There was also a problem with talking in the water. After all, the inhabitants of Atlantis are talking, which means they must release bubbles. The director is often asked about this, and the answer is always the same: yes. They just talk, they just open their mouths. After all, when your characters are underwater creatures, they have no oxygen in their lungs. No oxygen, no bubbles. He wanted to simplify everything as much as possible. If I started to complicate it, it would turn the audience away from watching. The main difference between these two films is in the approach to creation and filming technology. The wet for wet technology is a special development for the Avatar sequel, created by James and Cameron for its perfectly crafted world. But the dry for wet technology is old and in modern cinema shows itself artificially and badly. We hope this video has helped you learn more about making films that involve the aquatic world. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like if you like our videos. Galaxy movie.